Record button. Now, since you hit the record button, share, hit it. Come on, hit it. Tune it up. She got her band going there. Play a quick tune. Give us a 1-minute tune there.
A quick tune. Oh my God.
She's shy. I called her shy. How can that be? I'll play her preview then. I'll do that.
It's my shiny guitar. It's my Les Paul.
Yeah, well, anyway, Cher, welcome. And we're going to get into having Cher on here very soon. This is the leverage, leveraging your business. We talked about the last meeting of the year we had. And keep in mind that this all is the Mind Body Mastermind midweek. It's one of the things you're going to be hearing today. If you're looking for this PDF I'm going to share and you're looking for this recording, you're going to come to Mind Body Mastermind, Facebook, just look up Mind Body Mastermind. And then you need to come down and you need to find, here you go. Watch this, folks. Here we go. This is it. Watch, here we go. Where is her? Here it is. This is who we're talking to today. 1 second. Now she said she gave up life coaching from formally, but she still does a ton of it every day with people because that's just the kind of person she is. So when you're ready to get to the PDF I'm going to share with you, I'm going to remind you of our last meeting of the year because this is the first meeting, my first meeting of this year. I want to remind you of some of the things because Cher is going to be addressing every single one of those. And she is the epitome of all the things we covered the last meeting of our year. So remember, Facebook Mastermind, Andres is going to put that in the chat for you. So let me come back over here. We talked about leverage and make over your real estate business and life, hyper growth. It begins with the self. By the way, the Real Estate Resource Center, which all of you know that I have a proud sponsor now. Smart Mortgage Solution has come in and working with me in the Real Estate Resource Center. And we're going to be bringing you some phenomenal presentations and power programs throughout the week. So stay tuned for that. If you don't have a mortgage partner, feel free to tune in here to Smart Mortgage, MTGE. Great folks. They've done a lot of my private equity mortgages. They do residential luxury, great people. So remember, this is what we talked at the last meeting. Real success is the artful management of failures and setbacks. You're looking at Cher Ross, high school dropout, rock star, now a rock star real estate person. She knows how to balance the mindset, will set, and skill set. Remember, I've been talking about this now for about 3 months. It takes all three. You just can't have a great mindset without the will set. Sometimes the mindset has done work. You're ready to jump off of a bridge. So you got to exercise every bit of the will. And then the skills will come. Only when you take life by the inch and you don't give up. You're going to hear that from Cher. Remember, it always begins with yourself first. You've got to be green and growing or ripe and rotten. And wait till you see her track record, how she is growing exponentially every year. No magic decisions. There's just decisions in life. And you've got to live to make them right. She made a decision to drop out of high school and she drops out. I'm not doing this. She takes a college course. That's not for me. She goes around the world with a rock and roll band. Was that a bad decision? Was that a good decision? It was neither. She lived to make it right. That's the secret. And we talked about this. And it was really funny. We have her on this week. I said our last meeting of the year, you've got to learn to dance to the music that life is playing, no matter whether you like it or not. It's not happening to you. It's happening for you. And what happened to Cher and her dropping out of high school, traveling, and you're going to hear it. She keeps that one foot out of her past. She doesn't have that other foot in the future. And you will see why her present is so bright and why her production is so high and why she's a rock star in real estate, because she knows she's a person that practices. If you have one foot in the past, one foot in the future, it's a poison, it's a prison, and you piss all over the present moment. Cher is the type of person that lives in the present moment. She has both of these. She has a goal, but she has passion. And sometimes the goals, you're ready to give up on it, but the passion keeps you in. You're going to hear about how she was ready to quit in 2018. The difference, when you have both of them, that means you have aspiration. If you remember Frank McKinney, the book Aspire that I asked you to look up on Amazon, buy the book Aspire by my friend Frank McKinney. The difference is you got to have the goal and then you got to have the passion, one without the other. People say, Fred, why do you still do this? Why are you so passionate? Because I have such a big goal to make me into the kind of person I want to be. And then the passion to do it, but they have to go together, right? And you're going to hear that from Cher. She definitely understands what we talked about last week or the last meeting of the year, and that we have to know who before our why. She knew who she was inside, but she had to sort it all out. She realized she's a spiritual being having a human experience, not the opposite. These are those links to those two beautiful things that I showed last time. So when you get this slide presentation, you'll have all this. She knows 5 years from today, she's going to be the same person she is today, except for two things: the book she reads and the people she meets. She will tell you it took a village to get her where she is today in real estate. Two diseases she's overcome: the search for significance. She may have wanted to search for it in the band and rock and roll and maybe even real estate, but she realizes it's her daily to-do. It's her prioritizing. And she realizes she doesn't manage time. She manages her priorities, which you're going to hear. She learns from the very best. She surrounds herself with the very best. And she knows what's holding her back. And she keeps challenging it. These are two things you need to do. This is my 1990 vintage model life planning and business that you're going to get. It's all about branding. We talked about last time. You'll see how Cher has branded herself. This is more leverage thing. It's all in here. I don't need to go through all this. So you're going to get this. This is about luxury homes marketing. By the way, Cher, today, for you being my guest, you're going to get the free, which is a $300 a month program, the luxury marketing program and package from me. Make sure afterwards we connect and I get that for you. And if you don't have it, you can get one right from Lux VT, and if you want one, unless you're a member of my team. Commercial property. This is Chris Stubb, who's on the call with us. Cher called me in June with a $26 million hotel deal. She didn't get it. It was her first fish that she's trying to figure out. She didn't get it, but she hasn't given up. You wait this year. You watch what she does in commercial because she has her antennas up. This is what we talked about the last meeting. Get your leads and generation business costs covered. She has great partners, mortgage partners, title partners. That's what you do in this business is you leverage. And smart people about real estate investing or even growing your business. They learn from their mistakes, but the real sharp ones like Cher, she learns from the mistakes of others. And here's just a communication thing. So let me get out of there. I want to read this. I want to read this right now. Well, let me cancel this. We're going to hit stop share there. And then I want to read this to you, okay? And normally I don't read, I highlight, but this is incredible, okay? 2018, license, February 2018, almost quit real estate in June. Had no business, no deals, no clients, no clue, working full-time, online customer service person, was very frustrated. By the fall, I was trying to make a go of real estate with a different brokerage. Had a couple leads, but nothing really panned out that much. She did about $500,000. She was ready to quit. 2019, she made a career decision and found a new team, found a new group, the GPS group and Paul Saperstein and Fred DeFalco and the Tony DeFalco and the George Philbeck. So she just associated with this team. Did we make it happen? No. Cher made it happen, but she realizes she'll be the same person 5 years from today, except for two things: the people you hang out with and the books that you read. 2019, 4.3 million in volume, $85,000 in commissions, 16 deals, capped in November, 2 weeks to spare. 2020, 4.7 million. You see the growth? Another $500,000, just about 114,000 in commissions, 26 deals, capped in September. 2021, with our group, 8.2 million. You see, folks, she's green and growing. You see that? 160,000 commissions, 26 deals. 2022, she finally hit the icon status. That means $16,000 stock award, which in 5 years from today will help her retire. 2022, 18.6 million sales volume, 374,000 commissions. Double. You're talking about hyper growth. What an example of hyper growth. She capped in February. She hit icon in November. 2023, her goal is 30 million. No, it's not after today's share, because you're going to do a $10 million commercial deal in there. I promise you, with my public pricing, I guarantee you. My goal is 30 million in volume. Listen to this. Background, just quickly, and this is best known as the bassist and platinum selling 80s rock band Vixen, and also played for Joe Elliott. Released several award-winning albums. The fame, or should we say, notoriety, prevalent, but the wealth was not. A lot of folks ask me why on earth I'm a realtor with all my rock star riches. thing is, there is never any rock star riches, but rather a life of lessons that I had to learn and take to heart. Return in 2012, touring, life as a rock star. My life as a rock star and realtor looks like this: leave on a Friday morning, fly, travel all day, arrive at a destination. And she goes on and on of how much that was. But here's the lesson she learned. Number one, humility. Number one, humility. She talks about that I never am too proud to say yes to a lead, even if it's a $70,000 condo, folks. Humility. And it says in some weeks I closed a 1.2 million property because of mindset and attitude. Then she closed the very next time on a $150,000 one. She wasn't too good to go back to the 150. What an attitude. Hustle. After booking my own band, driving the van, helping to load equipment, sleeping on couches, living a life of hand to mouth, I know the art of hustle. Mindset, will set. Mindset, will set. Not necessarily the skills in the real estate, but she had that first. There are no excuses, only results. Hustle to work with any lead. Hustle for a lead to find ways to connect into clients. The people you know in the books you read, the people you meet and stay in touch with. Habit. She's a creature of habit. I used to get up at the rock and roll hour of noon after going to bed at 4 a.m. As a realtor, I made a conscious effort to change my habits to create a life of abundance. I use a calendar. You saw that on the PDF. You can get that if you go to My Body Mastermind and you comment on this meeting today. You're going to get a copy of that presentation. Commitment. I strongly believe in commitment. She says, whenever you get we get whatever we commit to. I am committed to binge watching my favorite show on Netflix, or I can binge on a favorite show on Netflix, or I can commit to making those calls that make me a little uncomfortable. When I was 17, I practiced my bass 8 hours a day, not to become a rock star, but to become the best musician I could possibly be. The same applies in my real estate business today. So starting out, I remember getting one of the random leads that was sent to me. I was in my car. I pulled over immediately. I got on the MLS, got on my phone, called the lead, and I booked it. Booked the showing. Within 5 minutes, my phone began to get pinged. The lead was a relationship and showing was booked. The lead itself was a $120,000 condo. This became my habit. Key points. My worst experience as a realtor was my first experience as a realtor. Co-realtor tried to steal her lead. I had to borrow a car. I was totally unprepared. My shoe broke at the end. Needless to say, no deals were had, and the client dropped me. How do you get leads when you know next to nobody as a new realtor? What is the biggest single factor? She's going to help you with this in going from 8 million to 18 million in 1 year. The answer is having systems in place. Also to be noted, I quit Vixen. She walked away. She said, I got to commit. And her income jumped just dramatically. So anyway, one of the main things is it takes a village, as she said. So I will allow all the rest of this time for share, take it over, hit all those, talk about the mindset, skill set, will set, and we're going to gather all the questions, folks, and then we'll read them out one by one, okay, as Cher's talking, okay? So go ahead, Cher. Let's rock and roll.
You got it. You got it. Wow, I didn't know you were going to read all that. That was crazy. Thank you, Fred.
I love it. I love it.
That's so cool.
I didn't want to miss any of it.
That's cool. Thank you so much. Well, first of all, like this group has always been a big part of it, even though sometimes I'm not here. For the live ones, I do go back and watch a lot of the recorded videos. So I think that, this is a big part of it. And one of the main things that comes up that I get asked a lot was, how do you get, everybody wants to do the high end stuff. How do you get to the $1 million deals? Well, I just want to say it took me a long time to get to $1 million. And I remember I had a listing that was, I think it was listed at 1 million. We ended up doing the deal closed at 975. And I thought, I still didn't get $1 million, but it was really funny. It's like exactly what Fred was saying, it's mindset. And now that's not a big deal anymore. It's like what was that story about the 4-minute mile? Until somebody did it, nobody could do it. Only one person could do it. Right. So it was the same thing with me in my mind. I was like, I'm never going to do $1 million. And then I finally did. And now it just is like, oh yeah, not a big deal. And I think that a lot of it is, humility and habits and being responsive and appreciating what it is that we do. You know, what we do is so much more than, you know, helping somebody to buy or sell their home. It's connection. It's all that relationship stuff. And I think that that is why when we have our own act together and we feel centered, it makes such a huge difference, because there are going to be those moments where, my gosh, I've had clients break down in absolute tears and, you know, other stuff that was going on in their lives, nothing even to do with the house. And you just have to be in that place to be able to steer. And, you know, we're not their counselors, we're not their shrinks, but there are moments where you have to kind of call on that energy and bring it together. And then that actually helps the whole real estate business. I think that that's a big part of it as much as anything else. I'm rambling here. I can't hear you, Fred. I can see you talking. Why am I not hearing you?
No, I muted
Okay.
myself. I'm sorry. But listen, that's fantastic, because some of the stuff you're saying, let's just, how many properties have you done $1 million and over now?
I've never counted. Probably, I know in the last year I had a couple deals that were, you know, 2 million and then 1 point something and 1 point something. And yeah,
That's because you know all these wealthy rock stars, right?
I
No.
wish. I wish.
You started
I
at the
haven't
170 and the 75,000, right?
Yeah, totally. And
Right.
it's funny because, you know, I've had people who thought I was going to bring in all these, you know, super big rock stars and stuff. And I got to tell you guys, like, that has not been my business at all. Like, not at all. Most of the musicians I know will comment on things that I post, and they come from a very scarcity mindset, you know, mindset of lack. And their comments would be like, oh, well, that's all right for some people. Oh, well, if I was rich, you know, maybe if I win the lottery, I could buy that house. And so I'm just like, you know, okay, you're not my clientele. You know, love you, but you're not my clientele. Yeah. So that has not
that
been,
many million, the many millions you're talking about that you're now doing, it's because you are constantly paying attention to this, to everything, right?
Yeah, I'm working my database. I call my past clients. I gift all of my clients at closings. I gift them during the transaction. I gift them afterwards. I now have many systems in place for keeping track of their home anniversary date, their birthday. It's all the basics. I have a relationship with a wonderful commercial broker who actually sends me residential business simply because I had given them a lead for a commercial person that was way out of my wheelhouse. And then I took them out to lunch. So I pursued that relationship. And then I followed up the lunch with a handwritten thank you card. And I got the phone call like, oh my gosh, nobody does this anymore, da, 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 da. And now we have this amazing solid relationship, which is one of my referral partners. I call, you know, it's like a referral partner. But that came out of a sincere place. I didn't do all that because I didn't like them either. You know, I really like this person. So I think it has to be sincere.
You did the human thing. You did the human touch.
Yeah.
You said, I took them to lunch. They're commercial people, probably doing a lot better than you were at the time, but you still took them to lunch.
Yes.
It's sowing seeds, right? So you're a seed sower. And that's why your production is going to 30 plus million. You know, it's fantastic. So that's not rambling, trust me. Now you mentioned many systems in place, and everyone's going to say, oh, what system? The magic is not the systems. The magic is that you implement them. Because you can go on Google and find every system you use, right?
It's that classic, you know, the best CRM is the one you're going to use.
So,
and that goes with everything. So, you know, I'm on my third assistant, and she is doing great now. And, you know, we're still working out our kinks, but it's been like 6 months now, but we're pretty up and running pretty well now.
Can I ask you a question on the assistant? You said third assistant.
Yes.
You have 3 assistants, or you had to go through 2 others to get to a good one?
Yes. Yeah. I went through 2 assistants prior to this one.
Got it.
Yeah. And I don't want to dwell too much on that. That was like, you know, the rule of thumb that I I'm bearing with is once you start doing regularly 3 deals a month, you need an assistant. You need to hire somebody. So, because it's just like, what's that?
No, I said with your assistant, okay? I've had people ask me now for 6 months, well, where do I go? What do I do? You go to Google and you type in assistant, virtual assistant. Where did you find yours?
So I wanted a not virtual one. I wanted a human one.
Oh, okay.
So I did speak to some virtual assistant companies and I just wasn't feeling it.
For you.
And so I started, going online and hunting around. And then I picked up the phone. I started just calling a few people that I knew. And then I had that one random conversation where they said, oh, my daughter is really good at,
Systems.
figuring stuff out and logic and systems and software and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, great. Give me your number. And then that was it. She ended up being the one. Yeah.
Fantastic. And then you were talking about the commercial broker that you developed the relationship. What's the largest referral they've given you?
Like a $650,000 lead.
So I was okay. So that one lunch, a follow-up card did the magic. It's amazing.
Yeah.
You didn't have to invest.
And there will be more. There will be more from that relationship too. But
fantastic.
just I did want to dial it back to like more of the basic stuff, which is something that I find really helpful. Two of the main basics is this group. GPS has been so full of resources and information and answers and solutions. And so I just don't want to downplay that. That is one of the systems. That is one of the pieces, because we all wake up and have these days where it's like, this is impossible. It's working for her. It's working for him. It's not going to work for me. And you get all stuck in your head and you overthink and get all freaked out and not believing it's ever going to work. And this group was a really big part of me getting it to work, and then being able to pick up the phone and, call you or Tony or George or Paul or Fiona or Tom, or I've called a lot of people over the years. I do not profess to know everything, not by a mile, and I am not afraid to ask for help.
And Cher, you are definitely the example to follow, that the real estate business is not easy. You're ready to quit after your first 6 months. In the beginning, it's not easy, but it's easy to, and it's easy not to. So you chose a route that, hey, I'm going to make it, step by step, by the inch, and you finally got over that one hurdle. And it's amazing. You went from 500,000 to 4.3 million to 4.7 million to 8.2 million. And there was no big $10 million deal in there. These were all the bread and butter, and every now and then $1 million deal, right? And then 18.6 million. You double your production from 21 to 22, and now you're on your way to 30 million.
That's the goal, and
that's a real estate. That's a good real estate business. If it's not green and growing, and you're not doing something different every day, and you let these little things get in your way, and what CRM, what this, what that. You got to just take one step at a time, which you did, right? Stair steps.
Right? And learning all of those pieces. So, when you do get to for me, it was as much, like when I do get to the $1 million deal, I had a handle of what I was talking about, because the seller or the buyer is going to say, well, what's going to happen? And if I had started off with that, I would have been like, well, I don't really know what might happen.
Right.
So now I understand the process is so much more, and I'm able to answer so many of those questions, and also having a, good list of vendors as well doesn't hurt. All of that stuff makes a big difference. And it made it so I showed up with more confidence as well.
Right.
But I do think, initially, just like for me, like getting the leads, I did everything I could to find out what worked for me for the leads. And so I've done, a ton of open houses. I did, the Brent Gove 8-hour open house. I did all sorts of just anything and everything. I got Red X. I was cold calling. I was doing everything I could to see what fit for me. And I think there's not one way to slice that pie. And I believe that there's enough to go around. This is a very abundant pie. There's no, there's no zero sum game here. So to me, what works is I work my database, I do warm leads, and then like you said, I try to plant those seeds, plant those seeds, plant those seeds. So I believe the biggest reason realtors don't get as many referrals is because number one, we don't ask for the referrals. And number two, we don't know how to ask for the referrals. We just get uncomfortable. So that's the one of the things that I really worked on in 2022, this past year, was asking for referrals. In fact, one of my bigger deals, the one that closed at 975, was because I had called a past client to say, hey, how's it going? I wanted to check in on you and see how everything was, where you are, and how I can help. And she went, oh, I'm so glad you called. My ex-husband wants to sell his house. Can you call him like right now and maybe go over there like in the next hour? And I got the listing.
What, the next hour?
Yeah.
How much was that deal?
That was 975.
Yeah, folks, I'll tell you, know what? You said something. I got to go back to that. A couple of things. One, you said, keep it basic, keep it basic. Number one. Number two, I got to try. You were willing to fail. Because a lot of those things you failed out. You failed at.
Oh, big time. Big time.
Success, the artful management, failures, and setbacks, right? Then the other thing is you got that abundant mentality, there's enough to go around, right? And then the other thing, you said something, I want to hit on it. You didn't say it in these words, but you got comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Definitely.
That's the key to success. You got to make that a challenge, to become so comfortable with being uncomfortable that the uncomfortable actually makes you aspire, which that's what's happened to you, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm still uncomfortable asking for the referrals. I'm not going to lie. It's still scary. Yeah. It's still weird, It's like I'm still trying out different ways to say it,
where do you think that comes from?
I think it's our basic fear of rejection. And because, in our minds, it's like, well, now I've helped you sell this house, and I don't want you to think that every time I call you to follow up, that I'm going to go, hey, do you know anybody that's getting divorced or downsizing or might want to buy a new house or wants to sell? It's like, I don't want that. I don't want them to think I'm always asking for something.
Have you ever been told by your parents that's impolite to ask?
Oh, for sure.
It's belief systems. We've been taught.
It is.
Again, it all goes back to belief systems. I don't care what area of your life. If there's any unrest, if there's any unhappiness, if there's not success, if there's not this, it's all because of your BS belief system. So that's so ingrained in all of us. That's so ingrained in all of us. And you've got to break that belief system, which you're doing, but yet you're still struggling with it, right?
Yeah. It's like
that's amazing.
Yeah. I have my list of calls. I have Monday to Friday, I make my calls. The prospecting doesn't go away. I remember that was something Paul said to me, I don't know how long ago, early days. I was just like, what should I be doing? He's like, it doesn't matter who you are or where you are in your business. You always got to be prospecting, because that's what all the top producers do. They never stop prospecting. And, so that was, the hunt for how to prospect that works for me, for my personality, came down to, calling past clients, calling current clients, calling hot leads, cold leads, stale leads. But I am not a cold calling type of person. It just doesn't work for me. And I have seen some people in the offices doing that. And man, you guys, more power to you. That's intense.
Sherry, you mentioned something about how many systems you tried, right? And now you've got your KV core figured. Or what CRM do you use?
So I'm using Follow Up Boss.
Okay, use Follow Up Boss. So you've mastered that now, and then you mastered this other system. Then now you've mastered how to hire somebody. Do you think that's because of your MBA, your Master's of Business Administration degree? Do you think that helps you?
What, in life? I don't have
with mastering this business. With mastering this business, because you have an MBA,
with mastering
right?
This business.
Yeah, because you have an MBA.
MBA in what? In life? Yeah, in the life of hard knocks. And
you actually have your PhD. You have your PhD. You know what a PhD is, right?
What? Go on, tell me.
Pride, hustle, and desire. Pride, hustle, desire. That's what you've done, right? Is pride, hustle, desire. Eighth grade. I mean, not eighth grade dropout. I'm the eighth grade dropout. You dropped out of the 12th grade, right?
Yep, senior
Okay.
year.
So again, folks, here it is. It is your attitude, not your aptitude, that determines your altitude. A woman that you're looking at ready to quit in 2018 goes to 4.3 million, 4.7 million, 8.2 million, 18.6 million, and now to 30 million. Phenomenal, phenomenal. It's your attitude, not your aptitude, that determines your altitude. It was an attitude. I'm going to figure out a system that works for me. It was my attitude. I'm going to take someone to lunch. It's my attitude. I ought to take time to send them a card. It's all your attitude. You have an attitude problem, Cher.
I do. I do.
A good one. You have a real good one. I love it. Okay, so yeah, so you use follow-up boss. That's interesting. That's great. And again, like you said, what's the best CRM? It's the one that you use, right? It's like an exercise program. What's the best way to lose weight? Whatever program you implement, right? What's the best way to
Absolutely.
Yeah. So okay. Well, anyway, look, let's do this. It's 9:05. Anything else to add? You've already mentioned the village, which is very important to you, and I say the same thing. I mean, look, just because I have 45 years in the business, I can't tell you how much I learned. I learned from you, right? We are students and teachers of one another. Someone asked me yesterday, he said, Fred, holy mackerel, blah, 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 blah. He says, you always seem to be so fresh with ideas in it. I said, I don't know anything. I don't know anything yet. I really don't. I mean, that's my attitude in life. I don't know anything about anything, right? So, and that's your same attitude. And that's what causes success to happen, is that attitude of green and growing, always learning, always stretching, always moving and trying new things. I just love it. So, okay, what questions do we have? Hey, Andres, do me a favor. If you'll go, so I don't have to move my screen around, can you just go down to questions one at a time and who asked it? Andres.
I'm here.
I told him no multitasking on the Zoom. What does he do? Because he's so good. Anyway, let's read down the questions.
Let's read out the questions.
Put your questions in there, folks. Comments, questions, Andres, or raise your hand too. You can raise your hand or shout out. I don't care.
I'm not seeing any questions in the chat.
Comments? No questions. Wow,
that's easy.
We must have done a good job, Cher. Anybody? Questions of Cher? A $4 million to $18 million.
Question.
Thank you, Krista.
Hi, good morning. Hi, Cher.
Good morning. Good morning.
Can you tell us a little bit about how you structure your day or your week? I know you said you do your calls Mondays and Fridays, but I think that's something that all agents struggle, how to structure their day.
Yeah, absolutely. And great question, by the way. So basically it's Monday through Friday. The way that my day typically looks is I do not get up at 4 a.m. Like I know, like the Ryan Serhants of the world and people like that, and probably you, Fred. I still have that little rock and roll bug. So to me, early is 7:30, and the way that I structured is, I just like to get up. Mornings are dog, food, hanging out, and then I do run on a treadmill. I have my own treadmill, so health is really, really important, as I'm sure all of you know and feel. So I run 2.5 to 3 miles 5 days a week. And that's about 45 minutes for me. I'm not the world's fastest runner, but I am committed to it. And so that's a non-negotiable for me. Like that's one of those things that has to happen. I have to be on that treadmill 5 days a week, or I'm going to be a grizzly bear. And so this is, I see you laughing. It's important though. That kind of stuff's important. So once I get that done, then the real estate part of the day, although I do consider that part of the real estate part of the day, because if I don't do it, I'll be miserable and I'll hate all my clients. So once I sit down to actually get going with everything, it's usually about 9:30 or 10. One of the things I do prior to that though, is I use one of the systems I have is an app, which is also, I think it's a website as well, but the app is called YouMail, Y-O-U, instead of YouTube, it's YouMail. And I use that because I have an iPhone, And if any of you have ever had that problem where, wow, why is my voicemail suddenly always being full? I can't seem to keep up with it. That's why I got email, because my voicemail is never full now. So one of the things I do with my email is I change my outgoing greeting every day, every morning.
I love it. I love
And
it.
yeah, and that became a few reasons. One is to let clients know I'm actually here. I'm a real person. I'm at my job today. Number two, it sets boundaries because I'm telling them I answer my phone 9 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. every day except Sundays. So you bossy investor clients who want to call me at 9 at night or on a Sunday afternoon, this gives them pause. Now, I do make exceptions to that rule. You know, if I'm in the middle of negotiating a deal or something, then I'll go till midnight, whatever it takes. But I'm not going to start with a new client at 9 at night. So this has been very, very good for setting boundaries, which is another important thing for me as real estate, is to have boundaries. And I didn't used to, so now I do. So then, yeah, that's such a major piece. Otherwise, we just burn out. And so once I've done the outgoing greeting, then I get on my treadmill. So that way, if I get a call or whatever, that's already in place. And then it's usually what I call my power hour, from about 10 a.m. till noon. And my assistant has already sent me my schedule, and she's already sent me my call list. So my calls, I have like usually 10 to 15 people that I call every day. And I mean, that varies. I'm not calling the same 10 to 15 people. So some of it's database, some of it's past clients, some of it's just updates on current deals. So Tuesdays are always status update day. So anything that's super current, I call those people. So every day kind of has a theme, and then I follow that theme Monday through Friday. So then,
Wow.
yeah, so that way I don't sit down and go, well, who should I call today? Like there's already a predetermined method to that. And that is, I am in a coaching system. And so that's part of that coaching system.
What coaching system? What coaching system?
It's called the core. It's just called the core, or is it called the core training? I'm not sure. I don't know.
Andres, look that up and then put it in the chat for everybody.
Yeah, I honestly don't remember the actual. I know it's called the core. It's with Rick Ruby and
Oh yeah, okay.
And what's the other lady? God, it's totally left my mind. This is what happens. See, I'm 60. Things just. Phew. But anyway,
you look awful darn good for 60, girl.
Rock and roll and running that treadmill, brother. So then it's just, you know, then I have like a little lunch space, and I'm in my home. I have a home office in here. I have the doors shut and everything. So, you know, I just sort of honor that time, and then walk out into the rest of the house and have lunch with my husband. And then afternoons are typically either for putting out fires, showings. I know I have 2 different clients this afternoon, so I'm going to be going to West Palm Beach and then driving down to Boca. But I will drive to Hollywood. I will drive to, on rare occasions, I'll drive to Miami, and I have done deals in Port St. Lucie. So I still hustle, and I don't think that that's really that big of a deal unless you have to show like multiple houses. Then that can be a little exhausting. But that's usually the basic structure of my day. The part that needs to be non-negotiable that my coach and everybody in this chat would yell at you about would be, make those calls. The power hour has to be non-negotiable. Turn off distractions. You know, I'm still implementing things such as not checking my email constantly, not checking my text messages 3 times a minute, you know, stuff. It's like I have these old habits of being reactionary, and I know that they're there. So I'm learning the art of responding instead of reacting, i.e., you know, I know this is right in your wheelhouse, right? And this is such a time suck. And the one thing we have to be super aware of as realtors is our time. And it's bad enough how we get up all in our minds and we lose time with blah, the stuff could just think yourself into insanity. But then checking an email, and it's something that could wait until 4 p.m., but instead you get in it now and then you're sucked in and and then it goes on and suddenly there went an hour.
Yep.
Literally an hour.
Good question, Krista. Thank you. Hey, I want to play her voicemail. Listen to this.
Happy Wednesday, January 4th. This is Sharon Ross from EXP Realty. I answer my phone from 9 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. If I missed your call today, I will be returning calls between 2 and 2:30, and then again after 6:30. Today is National Spaghetti Day. What's wrong with that one? And if it's an urgent matter with your real estate, please shoot me a text and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you. Please, clearly.
Now let me ask you a question. Does that sound a whole lot better than going, oh, hey, thank you for calling me. I don't really answer my email. If you prefer to respond, send me a text. Folks, if I hear that on any of your voicemails, don't ever talk to me again. Don't ever talk to me again. That message there and the way she framed that, I will never want to do business with anybody else. I want to talk to this person. You call my voicemail, pleasant, upbeat. You know, I can't believe some of the voicemails I call, and I hate to admit it, some of my own team, and I go, you got to be, and the worst is you have dialed 561-867, blah, 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 blah. At the sound of the tone, leave a message. Are you serious? You can't be in the real estate business and do that, folks. Share compliments to you. I love that. The U-mail. I wasn't familiar with that. It's U-mail, Y-O-U-M-A-I-L.
Yep.
Put that in the
Yep.
chat, Andres. Andres, are you there? Hey, Andres, put in there the Mind Body Mastermind. Again, you comment on the meeting. You join the group, comment on the meeting, say, share, great job. Thank you so much. I learned so much. Do a takeaway also, and then just say, please send me the PDF because I'm gonna message you. There's a lot of resources in there. The Ultradian methods in there, an 8-minute training video, what Cher's talking about, how to practice distraction management, how to how to become superhuman focused. That's all in that PDF. So please join our group, Mind Body Mastermind. I love it. It's Cher. You know, hopefully that you are a member there, because part of that, I want you to comment on your daily routine of your exercise, because that's how that whole thing started. It started with me committing to 101,000 steps a week, which is 50,000. I mean, which is 50 miles a week, and it's programming as I was going through some life changes. So please join that and share that story with us. That's powerful. You know, how you are so committed to that basic there, and to make sure that always happens for yourself. That's fantastic. All right, any questions in there, Andres, in the chat? What do we got there? Anything?
I have a question for Cher.
Yes, Steph, go ahead.
Hey, Cher, thank you so much for sharing your story and encouraging us too. I just wanted to know how you send out your email. Send all of them out through your CRM where you can see who checked it, or do you use your personal email account? How do you send out your emails for everyone?
That's a great question. I have my my Gmail account, which is just for real estate. And one of the things that Follow Up Boss does is, if I have that client in Follow Up Boss, which I better have, then all of the emails, it syncs with Gmail. So all of the emails show up in my CRM, but I can also email from the CRM or from my Gmail. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I know we can do both. I was just asking what you do.
I guess I'm 9 times out of 10, I'm probably in my Gmail. But yeah, it's a little bit of both there. A little bit of both.
I just wanted to know because I'm trying to get better with my CRM and communicating through the CRM, but it's just easy for me, and I find myself just going into my email, my Gmail to send out everything, which it still has my signature in there, but I was curious how you do it.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And it's just a silly habit, but it is right there. Yeah, I can use the exact same signature and everything right from my CRM. Good point. Actually, I'll probably use it more now. We've talked about it.
See, there you go. Share on the Follow Up Boss versus KV Core. Any reason you're not using the KV Core?
You know what? It's really just like
what you were used to, or
Yeah, I had used it before at one of these other horrible brokerages. But the thing is, it's just so Mac friendly to me, and I'm such a Mac
Oh,
person. It just feels really intuitive it's just so intuitive. So it's just so easy. Yeah.
got it. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were familiar with it. Yeah. And that's
Yeah.
the thing that, see, I'm so glad you're bringing that up. Everyone is looking for secret sauce. There's no secret sauce. I mean, Tom Martin every Friday and the other coaches, Curtis and Debbie, they say the same, and we all say the same thing. There's only one secret in the real estate business. There's no secret. There's no
Yeah.
secret. And I love the way you said, I tried this, I tried that, and I did this, and I did that. And until you found your own way. Chris Dove is
Yeah.
shaking her head. She's the same way, and that's why her business is growing the way it's growing, because it's life by the inch is a cinch, by the yard it's hard. Laurie Histrov put in, thank you for your share. You at home about being reactionary. I need to work on that. Such a time thing, checking emails, text, or social media. Make sure you get that PDF and study the Ultrania method. The 8-minute video, it is unbelievable, becoming superhuman focused, because it is so critical that we control our lives, that our lives don't control us, right? Now, that doesn't mean, if you were to look at my schedule and look at my life right now, so wait a minute, you're not living what you're saying. I still have control of all my chaos. I thrive on chaos. That's my personality. If I don't have chaos, I don't thrive. Is that wrong? No, it's who I am. Right? It's who I am. And you said, and you told a fib about me. You told me 4:30 in the morning. No, mine's 2:30 and 3 o'clock. Because I thrive on that, right? But I'm in bed at 7:30. Try to get a hold of me at 7:38. You'll get my nice voicemail, but you won't talk to me most of the time. Chris is shaking her head, yeah. Anyway, but yeah, so what works for you. But the key is the commitment of all the things you said in what I read, and this fact of just pulling over immediately, following up on some crazy little lead. And, many of you have heard me told the story. One of my greatest stories is one of my agents, a retired agent, but he was doing really well. Marty, what was his name? Hertzberg, or I forget what was Marty's last name. But anyway, I'll never forget, he got this call from a Chicago attorney coming down, wanted a little condo, $75,000, $80,000 condo. Trucked him around for a week. The guy was driving him nuts, right? But he was committed. And he got that to close. He said, man, you did such a good job. He said, here's my card on the back of it. This is a very private number. You're not allowed to give it out to anyone. I'm trusting you with this. It was Don King, the fighting promoter. I'm coming here moving because he's moving here. You ready for this? You're talking $50 million worth of real estate. I end up selling him, $30 million, $40 million worth of commercial real estate, all because of a $75,000 condo, folks. Jay DeFalco told you, only 3.5 years in the business, doing 100 deals a year. He gave us credit because I told him, number one, keep your antennas up. Number two, always answer your phone, Jay. That's the secret. Always answer your phone. Or if you're not answering your phone, have it managed like you do, Cher. I love that voicemail. I love that email. I love it. It's fantastic. That's fantastic. So, okay, cool. Any other questions? Join the group. If you make a comment on Cher's video and about this meeting, we're going to send you that PDF. Very valuable. And so that's going to be in there. Did I miss any questions? Anybody? Nicholas, I'm sorry.
Somebody's got a hand up.
Yeah, I got
Nicholas.
you. I have a quick question for you. So I'm pretty brand new to, I'm a brand new licensee, young guy, 22 years old. My whole family's been in the restaurant industry, and I've been in the service industry my entire life. So I'm slowly transitioning, but in the meantime, I'm still working full time. And I'm talking 50, 60-hour weeks helping manage the restaurant. And I'm slowly trying to give myself more time. But in the meantime, since it's so valuable, how can I manage that small amount of time I do have? And what's the most important thing in terms of growing the business and getting educated that I should focus on when I am limited on time for the short time being?
So where do you work?
My uncle and family have a restaurant on Park Avenue in Winter Park, and I help.
Okay. And does every single person in that restaurant know that you're now a realtor?
Pretty much, yeah.
I would be working that room for a start.
Yeah, I'm
I
definitely
would seriously
starting that.
work that room.
Absolutely. But in terms of the educational side of it, for when I'm not there. Because
Yeah.
I feel like my struggle is, I don't have enough time to do everything. I start to
Right.
feel overwhelmed. What is it that I should entirely be focusing on right now?
Well, I would say one of the things you'd want to do is shadow a couple of people, like go out on some listing appointments with a couple of the agents.
Mhm.
I'm not sure who's by you in Winter Park, but I would find out who can I go out with on listing appointments. You can see how that conversation feels with somebody who's experienced in doing that all the time, because that was really beneficial for me. And then I would start calling everybody in your phone. Hey,
Already started that.
what's that?
I've already started that. Everyone's
Good. I mean, that's really the main thing, is just like, and then the other thing would be, do you have the MLS on your phone?
Yes.
So I would be pulling it up on every break at your job and pretending I have a lead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, somebody wants a 2-bedroom,
yeah.
2-bathroom condo, da da da, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. I'm gonna find it, and I would just see how fast I could do it.
Okay.
Yep. And Nicholas, every day before you go in, I want you to print off of the MLS 3 brand new listings that hit the market. I don't care whose listings they are. You print out the customer version where your name is on it. And you take it in there and you just have a stack of those. Every time you see somebody and they give you a little acknowledgement, you got to be careful, don't get fired. But you say, man, I'm just so excited about this property we just brought on the market. The MLS, we just brought on the market. I want to just share it. But now you got to go see it before, so you know. The other thing is, I'm putting in the chat right now a link to Ariel, Mr. Listing, who started part-time. You may want to give him a call. Number one. Okay. I just put it in the link. Are you with our brokerage or another brokerage? You're a guest or?
No, I'm with EXP.
Oh, good. Hit that link. That was the meeting we did with Mr. Listing, Ariel, who started part-time and how he now has a huge business, right?
Mm.
But the other thing, how many hours a week do you work?
Almost 60.
Almost. That's all.
That's a lot.
Well, at the
There's-
place, and then I work about 20 to 30 in terms of education and
Okay.
real
So,
estate work, but the bulk of my restaurant work is, I say, between 50 and 60 a week, and then
Okay, let's take 55. Okay.
okay.
So you have 168 hours.
Mhm.
Okay. And if I looked at your calendar, I could help you, right? So if you take 168 hours, you take 55 away from that, you have 113 hours.
Mm-hmm.
What's the problem? Seriously, sleep 6 hours a night just so you get rest. I mean, at your age, 22, I started when I was 22 myself, by the way. So, and I'm going to see you in 45 years too. I'll still be around. Trust me. But you have 113 hours.
Yeah.
What are you doing with it? So look at your calendar. You can't manage time. You can only manage priorities, and you block, I'm going to, 1 hour this Friday, when I'm off, I'm going to search open houses, right? I'm going to go and observe someone. There's a lot of people. Shares a great open house. A lot of open house people. Christian Rockwell. If you have never been to, you ever want to go to an open house and really watch someone that's crazy at an open house, but he just kills it. And why he did 42 transactions his first year, and he came out of Enterprise Car Rental, is because of what he did with open houses. So 113 hours. Just think about that. So let's say you slept 6 hours a night, right? Can you live on 6 hours?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So 6 times 7 is what? 42, correct?
Yeah.
So that leaves you 71 hours. Where did it go? That's interesting,
Where
right?
did it go?
Do you ever go out and drink with your friends?
Every so often, yeah.
Oh, no, but no, think about that, folks. Your greatest asset is time.
Yeah.
But our worst asset is not the management of the time, but the management of our priorities. That's why a calendar. You block everything. I block crazy stuff. I block calls, I block this, I block that. Now, no, I'm probably 50% efficient with my time blocking, but I do so much of it, it's a whole lot better, right? So think about that. That's amazing. 168 hours, you sleep, you work 55, it gives you 113, 42 hours of sleep. Someone just took a sigh. 71 hours left. So think about that one. But good question, man. And take that link and watch that presentation that Ariel did. Okay. Okay, anything else? I feel like that I know that I'm a brand new agent. Desiree, let's see. I feel like the people that I know that I'm a brand new agent when it comes to making big decisions like buying a home. They are going to want someone with skin in the game and calling them and chasing them away. I'm also an emerging agent. Or hey, Desiree, just the opposite. Just the opposite. You just want to drive an ATV. You have more power than the experienced agent. When I was 22, like Nicholas at 23, I led my entire company out of 300 agents, and the number of listings taken, 54 my first year, is because I went around and I said, hey, listen, I want to let you know I'm brand new. I will do anything to prove to you I'm good. I will do anything to get your house sold. I went after for-sale owners, right? So you just be authentic, you be transparent, and you be vulnerable. Drive an ATV, and I want you to get that PDF doc. I have stickers that you're going to put on the back of your laptop. You're going to go to Panera Bread. You're going to go to Starbucks. You're never going to work in an office. You're never going to work at home. You're going to take those brand new listings off of MLS, and you're going to sit there and smile all day long and work on your computer. And you're going to hand those things out. And you would say, guess what? I'm brand new. You're going to call every relative. You would say, hey, listen, I'm taking a survey of myself. I'm serious about this real estate business, but I know that I've got to learn from others. I know you're old enough. You've bought 2 or 3 houses in your lifetime, probably. Tell me your worst experience with the real estate. Tell me your best. Please, I want to be the best there is. You're saying, I'm not calling you for anything. I just need your help. And if you are transparent like that and you're vulnerable, you watch what happens. Christian Rockwell was brand new. He just went out and he started getting on the street, knocking on doors. He started with open houses. First 3 months, 3 sales, they all fell through. But he didn't quit. He didn't quit. And he just kept at it. 25 sales in his 10th month. And he finished his year up with 17 additional sales. So don't, Desiree, use that to your advantage, okay? Use that to your advantage, very important. Class every Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. Laurie, that's a good one. Deborah Booth, don't be scared. I did very well my first year. I sold almost 7 million. Fantastic. Deborah, she got on. I remember your first, when you came aboard, right? It's just, how long have you been now with us? How long?
I believe March 1st will be my 2nd year.
Yeah. I remember she came, and by the way, Deborah Booth, Chris Dove, lives in Tallahassee, Florida. When she came aboard, I said, keep your antennas up. She had herself branded as a residential agent. I said, you're a real estate specialist. Her 8th day with us, she did a $1.7 million general store, but it was in Tennessee. So Deborah was with us. I called Deborah quickly. I said, Deborah, how would you like to make $2,500 a day? And then she learned a little bit about a commercial transaction, right? So it's all about showing up at these meetings, right? And had Deborah never showed up, I wouldn't have thought to probably calling her, right? But she's in our group, so I thought of her immediately. And then Chris got $1,750,000, her 8th day with us because her antenna's up, showing up. Chris is on the calls all the time. That's exactly what Cher was sharing, right? So anyway, wow, Cher, you rock it, girl. You rock it. How many of you
Thanks,
agree?
Fred.
The Cher rocket? Was it good? Was it good? Yeah, fantastic. Go to Mind Body Mastermind Facebook, Mind Body Mastermind. Join the group. Comment on that preview video. Say, please send me the materials. We'll get that off to you. Share. Remind me to hook you up with your luxury portal because I want to see what's your highest sales price, folks. I want you to hold me accountable. Okay, for 2023, I want you to hold me accountable. What's your highest sales price in a residential sale?
2.1.
2.1. Oh, you're giving me a high bar there. 2.5 this year. No,
Nice.
3 million. Let's do 3 million.
All right.
I want to know where that 2.5 is because I want to help you duplicate it. Okay, because you need to promote around that.
Definitely.
And with this program I'm going to give you, it's going to help you. Okay, fantastic. Anything else? Next time we need a rock song. Cher, can you give us a rock song solo? Oh no, with your guitar. Come on, end us with the rock song.
All right.
Yeah, see, everybody wants it. They're rooting you on here.
I'm not
Here we go.
responsible for how it sounds on your end.
She's awesome,
yeah.
y'all. Y'all just don't know yet.
Oh, hang on. Just unplug. You know it's live. Not used to playing sitting down. This is awkward.
Stand up.
I could stand up, couldn't I?
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
Send us away with a good one.
There you go. Well, it won't be something you know, but it'll be
for
something
sure.
I know.
Why aren't we hearing it? We're not hearing it, Cher. We're
You're not hearing it?
No, I wonder
Uh,
why.
yep.
I guess the microphone won't pick it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The
Oh,
compressors don't work. Yeah, the
well, you have
compressors knocked it
YouTube
out.
videos, right? You have YouTube videos.
I am all over.
Yeah.
I'm
right.
nationwide. You
Cool,
can
cool,
find me.
cool. Rockstar realtor, not realtor, real estate specialist.
There you go.
Remember, folks,
Wealth
when you're doing
builder.
your brand, when you're doing your branding, stay away from being a house specialist, unless, like David Roberts, that I had the opportunity of mentoring into the business. He's one of the top income earners in the United States. You know, that's all he does. He has one community, but they're $12 million houses now. But you know, that's different. And he branded himself with that one community, and he was smart doing that. And I'm the one who helped him do it. But overall, all of you should not be branded with just a house specialist. You know, residential, luxury, commercial. You may say, I don't know how to do commercial. What are you telling me? But find somebody that does in your sphere. Say, hey, listen, I'm going to try and get some referral leads. Will you working with me? I'll take a 30% deal, but I want to shadow you on it. Please think out of the box. You know, when you send out listing referrals, don't send them out at 25 and 30%. Send them out at 60% referral fees, 70% referral fees. You know, Deborah benefited from that referral that Chris gave her, but she only got a $2,500 referral fee. But Deborah, was that a beautiful thing? Did that help you, Deborah? Oh, she got off. Okay, Deborah had to leave. But yeah, there she is. I mean, how you learned a lot from that, right?
It did. I learned
Yeah.
quite a bit. Just seeing the paperwork transactions go from Chris to the people, the
Yeah.
emails, because she kept me in the loop with everything. So it was
Right.
nice to be able to learn all that. It was, I want to say, about 2 hours from me, but it was a beautiful job, and it was still a learning experience.
How many
So I
hours did
still
you put
gained
in?
from it.
How many hours you put in there?
Total, not many. The most
Yeah.
was whenever we done the closing, and she came up and we actually did a ceremony for them. We cut the ribbon and everything.
Yeah. But I mean, you probably have 5 hours in it.
Maybe 5,
5
6,
hours.
somewhere in there.
2,500
That's about
bucks.
it.
I paid you. I paid you for 25. I paid you $500 an hour. Was that fair?
Mhm.
Or Chris paid you, I should say. Chris paid you $500 an hour. See, folks, you've got to think outside the box, right? This is called leverage. That's what Cher's doing. She's leveraging her business. She's leveraging her practices. She leverages her priorities. She leverage. And that's what it's all about. So anyway, think outside the box in 2023. Set those goals high. You know, show up at the meetings. Keep practicing. Something's not working. Don't let it bother you. You know, success is the artful management of failures and setbacks. You know, Cher's been a great example of that this morning. You know, she's a rock star in music, a rock star in real estate. And, you know, she dropped out of high school. Now, that's not a negative or positive. It's just her life story. It's my life story too, 8th grade. But, and it's just your attitude, mindset. She's proved that her mindset, she didn't have the skills at all, but she had the will set. And then she went and got the skill set. Don't get hung up with skill sets. Okay. So anyway, thank you all very much. I hope to see you, that you joined our group, Mind Body Mastermind, on Facebook, and then we'll get you the thing. Anything else, Tiff? If not, we take it from here. Cher,
Okay.
thank you. Everyone give Cher a round of applause.
Thanks,
Thank you,
everybody.
Sharon.
All right,
Thanks,
we
you
love you.
guys.
Love you.